going over 140 miles an hour in San Diego in 1980 was a real uplift for Bill at the end of that season. But it was still overshadowed by the fact that the big red monster Griffin-powered Budweiser boat was something that he wanted to dominate. It was something that he wanted to conquer.
We still weren't qualified after we'd messed up these 3 engines, not qualified for the event. So he says, "Well, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, let's not monkey anymore. Let's get qualified. Let's get in the race, and then afterwards, if you think you want to try again or something, we'll do it." And he said, "Okay." So he said, "What's in there now?" And I said, "Well, it's one of our race engines." I said, it's a fresh engine, but there isn't anything particularly special about it. It should be a good, strong engine, just what you would normally anticipate to go racing with." He said, "Well, can I try with that?" I said, "Yeah, if you want to." He said, "Well, do you think it'll go 140? I said, "Well, it went 139 and a half. I said, "Can you drive it 140? "Well, I don't know." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, you go out there and run around and whatever you feel like you do. If you break it, don't worry about it. We got more in the truck. We can still go racing comfortably. And if you break this one, that's all right, if you really feel like you want to do it." He said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, go and you see what you think." So anyway, he went out there. Of course, we all went and stood on the end of the dock and we're watching, and he went around and went around and went around, and then he went a little faster one time, and he was gone down, and the guy said, "Oh, I don't think he's going to do it." And I said, "Well, I think maybe he is going to do it." I said, "Why?" I said, "Because he's running around too slow for too long. He's burning off fuel." And I said, "He's trying to get this thing as light as possible." I said, "I think he's going to make a bonsai attempt here." And he said, "No, I don't. I think he's thinking something he doesn't like, or he doesn't want to do it." This kind of conversation's going on amongst the guys. And pretty soon he comes down again past the pit area. Now this time he goes past the pit area, he goes real deep. And one of the guys says, "Hey, he's going for it." And he hammered that bugger, and off he went, huh? And then he made the run, and I never saw a boat go around a corner any prettier than that thing did. It was beautiful. But anyway, he came back and he says, "Well, I guess we didn't do very good." I said, "You better listen up," because the people were just going crazy, applauding and everything. He said, "Well, what's going on?" I said, "You set a new record." He said, "We run 140? I said, "Yeah, you run a little over 140. Oh, boy, man, he was up then. He was really excited. But it wasn't on a particularly flashy motor or anything. It was on a good sound racing engine, but nothing that was really extra special.
I remember the day Bill set the average record at 140 miles an hour for an average speed in qualifying. It was beautiful San Diego evening. It was like 15 minutes before the course closed, and I think I had just come off the course, so I was on the dock, and he came through the corner, and I had never seen a boat look so beautiful ever. I mean, part of it was the aesthetics, it's a beautiful place to see a race anyway. The sun was setting, the boat was perfect, throwing up this huge rooster tail. And then when they announced the 140 mile an hour lap average, it just took our breath away. It's like, how could a boat go 140 miles an hour? It was this huge hurdle that he had gone over. So it was one of the few boat runs I remember watching and remembering how impressed I was.
Straightaway. God help any of you swimmers that are left out there. You're going to drown the rooster tail. Wow. I said they slow down anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour on the turns. I'm not so sure. I'm not telling stories there. In the south or north turn now, hanging all the way on it. Coming up the back straightaway. The Atlas van line. Let's watch that. Rooster tails crescendo up in the air. 100 to 150 feet up. About 300 feet behind that boat, or better than that even. Tons of water coming out. Foot to the wood as far as the cockpit is up here. Beautiful turning boat. Let me tell you, all these owners and drivers' eyes are in Bill Muncey right now.
Got 104. It's got to be right at it, because 106 something was what Chip did for 135.
Well, race fans, he just broke the qualifying record for the 2.5 mile course, the national record. He turned a speed of 138.889 miles per hour. And he's still going for it. That's not too far off that 140. Anybody sleeping in those motorhomes on Fiesta Island? All I hear is a big no!
You know what's a big difference? It's 6 they never slow down. They never used to be able to slow down.
Crank your ears to this one, race fans. 140. How can I say?
All right, we got it. Haha.
140,625 miles an hour. That last run on Bill Muncey's Blue Blaster. He has just broken the world record, or up the world record. I just broke in the last lap. Oh man, what a day for Bill Muncey.
After it was over with, he said, geez, he says, I think that's the fastest I ever went in this little boat. And I says, it probably is. I said, you probably went within 5 miles an hour what you went when you set the record with the Thriftway. He says, Jesus, that fast? I said, yeah, figure it out. That's what it takes to do it. You got to go damn quick.
In those days, qualifying, I think, was pretty important, and I don't remember talking to him about it, but I remember, the crew just being ecstatic. And I think everybody in the sport was. I mean, it was pretty defeating for the rest of us. But I think it was such a feat at the time, and they did it so well. The boat looked so perfect. You just had to applaud the job that the whole team did.